Internet, I hope I have blown your eardrums out because this is Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9001. I'm Sneaky Devil, it's a Tuesday, and I've done this out of order.
Thank God I have a mute sneaky button.
Good job.
Max, just before we get started, I'm just gonna send you something that will hopefully, if things get too rough, just look at this. They're all wonderful.
Alright. What's up, hey everyone? Alright. What's up?
Boy, you can feel the deteriorating enthusiasm levels.
As always, do not contact any of the people featured here in this lovely podcast of ours.
Please do not witch hunt.
That would no, they can witch hunt. They just don't.
No, they can't.
No, they cannot witch hunt.
Just don't. No contacts. No contacts at all. You're not allowed to talk to each other. You're all in isolation. You, however, may use sonic waves to communicate. I believe in you. Alright. As this is a Tuesday, we go back and visit old fiction, and Atin said he wanted to see chapter 2 of this. So here we are.
I'm hoping that it goes somewhere good. That's what my hope is.
I don't actually remember chapter 1 of this, but this is the Ranma ends up in this was the Ranma Bleach fusion story in which Ranma taught Ichigo martial arts. Tatsuki declares a rivalry with Ranma, and then we have a time skip of 6 years later, or something like that.
All right, who got gender bendered? Who got gender bendered? Let's find out right away.
So far, no one, I think.
Ranma.
Yeah, it's probably just going to be Ranma.
Okay, well that's
Okay,
not
good.
really. That doesn't really count.
No, it really doesn't. But like that's normal
Because-
for Ranma.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's just another Tuesday for him.
Apparently, what happens? Because going by the title of this story, Ranko, which is the name for Ranma's female form when he wants to trick people, because he's so clever. Apparently, the whole event that ends up with him turning into a substitute Vasto Lorde, it leaves him female. So we'll see what happens here. Chapter 1. Ranma was looking at himself in the mirror for a while now, like a Fallout 4 character. It has been
Wow.
Topical.
It has been nearly
it's
a
funny,
Go ahead
'cause
and
I'm
date
currently
us there,
playing
boyo.
It has been nearly a week since Phoenix Mountain and the botched wedding. Phoenix Mountain was where he killed a god, and the botched wedding. And the extra time to think has made him weary. He started to think about what he said back at Jusenko.
Didn't he not kill the god, though?
Oh, no, he fucked the god up pretty bad.
It's been a while since I've read Ranma. I should probably go read it.
I'm pretty sure the god was actually the only time Ranma actually killed anyone in the story.
So I've never seen Ranma, and boy am I confused.
It's actually pretty good if you can look past the...
Ranma was actually a really fun to read story.
Just make it past the first initial,
Yeah.
okay, this does not expend on. You'll be fine.
Yeah. No, it's
It's
for those weird things. Like the first chapter always has.
Although I will say, read the manga and don't watch the anime, because the
There's
anime
an
tends to
anime?
focus... Yeah, there's an anime of Ranma. Did you
Yeah,
know
they
that?
did an anime for it.
I did not know that.
I mean,
Yeah.
the anime was done by Toei Animation, I think, so it's the classic stuff, and it's pretty well animated, but the thing is, they focus a little too much on, yes.
Yeah.
Toei was Toei.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Wasn't
Boobs.
Ranma
Was it
made by the same person who made Inuyasha?
Yes.
Was it?
Was
Yeah, it was. It was his first work before then.
Rimiko...
No. Ranma was written by a girl, wasn't it?
No.
It-
But no, Inuyasha was also written by a girl.
Rumiko Takahashi.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she wrote both.
Yeah, fucking.
That's what he said.
That's
That's literally what I said!
Don't correct me, you fucking incorrect piece of shit! Oh no, that's not what happened! Bullshit, motherfucker! I loved both
Fuck
Inuyasha and Ranma! Eat shit!
Fuck you, I was right. I said, like, they were made by the same person.
No, you called them male!
Yeah, you contested that.
Shit, Lord!
I didn't contest that it was male or female. I didn't know what they were. I just said he.
Did
Because
you assume gender?
Yes, I did, because most mangaka from the 1980s weren't girls.
Yeah, that was the point.
Hey, yeah, you know what? Ranma 1/2, you can super date Toei on that, apparently. No, not even Toei. Produced by Kitty Films. Studio Dean handled it back in '89.
Shit.
Oh, Studio Dean handled that shit? What the fuck?
Yeah, Studio Dean handled everything.
Wow.
They handled everything Ranma related for animation.
Okay, now that we're done with the
Including-
history lesson, read
Wait,
Ranma.
I'm sorry,
It's funny
I
shit.
have
They
just...
did a film.
I have
apparently, as
straight
well.
up just lost this piece of armor. Okay, I guess I'm just spawning it.
You're done. You're done.
Wait, there was the live action movie in 2011. I'm gonna go track this down.
Excuse me?
I'm gonna go track this down.
2011, there was a live action movie. I'm sure that's an excellent story.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Phoenix Mountain killed a god, blah blah blah. He started to see the curse as the true part of himself. I suppose in the end, I understand that my girl side was always part of me. Maybe it was never a curse.
Hooray, it's trash. It's already trash.
Nose hair understands why I am currently agitated. Okay. He sighed, took a cup of water, poured it over his head, and became the girl he recently dubbed herself. And became
What?
the girl that she recently dubbed herself Ronko.
Hasn't he been calling that form Ronko for a while, though?
Yeah. Detective movies are always going to be decent because it's fucking detective movies. It's not a... This is martial arts. Oh, by the way, they shoot energy blasts. Hey guys, remember Dragon Ball Z live action?
Everyone in Uganda knows Kung Fu.
There are good live action anime films.
Dragon Ball Z was not one
American.
of them, Max.
No, none of them are American. Let me finish talking, you cunt.
Fuck you!
Look.
Ranma had 2 movies, by the way. 2 animated movies. The second one is called Ni Hao My Concubine.
What? What?
What?
Excuse
You heard me.
Hello?
You heard me.
No, I didn't. I didn't, and I'm going to continue pretending that I didn't.
I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
She started thinking about all the memories she had with Akane as a girl. The time Akane she and first met, the time Akane she and first became arranged marriage, the time when she and Akane sparred, and when she and Akane thought they could be friends. The time Ronko nearly professed her love for Akane when Ryoga proposed to Akane while possessed by a Neko ghost. The time when Akane and her were training to beat the sister duo. The time when she professed her marriage to Akane in front of Prince Kirin. And the time they fought the sisters together. Ranma sighed. How did she feel about this side of him herself? Was it just an inconvenient thing that Ronko existed? Or did Akane really accept Ranma completely? Both sides of him. It was an awkward subject, but he felt tied to Akane through Ronko so much it pained her to think how she might not completely like her.
I want to die. Like, I already hate this.
Yeah, this is actually like soul-gratingly painful. This hurts even more because I just came from reading the next chapter of What Do You Really Want, which is a fucking amazing Ranma fanfic.
I'm sure it is. I won't find out until I actually bother to read the thing.
Do you
I mean,
pronounce it a cane?
I can find the.
Why
Hang
wouldn't
on.
I pronounce it a cane?
I'll find some scans for
In
you.
German, it's pronounced Akani. Well, in German, you ask to go to the bathroom by going, Hoi Hitler!
I mean, it's
Sneaky!
Hello?
You can't do that, dude!
This stream has now been demonetized.
No, seriously, that's not funny, dude.
Here's Ranma, by the way. Make sure you have adblock on. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
I know. Now,
What are you
Max,
doing
because
about
of you, Amazon just sent me an email with like 7 different Exia models in it.
Have you kept up with Ringmaker? Yes. I
the fuck
have
are you
indeed kept
doing,
up with
Ricky?
Ringmaker.
What about ad blocker?
No, just on
That's for me.
most manga sites, you gotta have ad blocker on because they have to
Very
get
good.
ads,
Much excellent.
No.
and most of them
yeah.
are kind of shit.
Because they don't vet their fucking ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, her name is pronounced
yeah, as
Akane.
far as Ringmaker, I've
well,
also
I
kept
call
up
her
with
a
it.
cane.
It's one. Yeah, I know, but like, I'm going to lazily do my job as consultant.
Oh, yeah, okay. Ranma shook his head. Do I really want to accept being half woman? You're not half woman. You're actually a full woman part-time. There is a difference there.
I was gonna say, there is kind of an
There's a
important difference.
significant difference there.
So this story is already chat. Is already trash. Hey chat, name best girl in chat.
Fuck you, get out.
That's it.
Understandable.
You're gone.
Sorry.
A big chunk of my life trained by Pops tells me no, but the instinct in the back of my head tells me yes. On a whim, she then took off her ponytail and let her hair flow down.
I actually just kicked nose hair out.
No, I didn't.
Oh no, I just put him in general. I'll bring him back.
Oh no, he's gone now.
Oh, now he left.
You hurt his feelings.
Best girl was clearly
Calvin,
Vicky.
stop hitting the computer. Your computer did nothing wrong.
Don't make Hitler joke. Don't make Hitler joke.
No, but seriously, don't do that.
I could totally do it though. Well, Drat. Wait, hold on. How should she feel about it? Should she feel pride, disgust, or loathing? Actually, no, seriously though, ping him back in here because he's like the only one that knows Ranma, so he can.
Yeah,
share
I
my
know. I
disgust.
just told him to get back in there.
Nabiki, who was creeping into the slightly opened door, came out into view and smiled. Well, Drat, I was going to get some really good pics too.
So I can't move people into streaming. I can move them out of it, but I can't move them
I'm sorry,
into
and I'll be right back.
Yeah, I took care of it.
Wait. Fucking what? But you
I
have
can take
the
people
exact...
out.
What? You have
But I
the
can't move
exact
them
same
in.
settings. Fucking excuse me?
Sneaky. I don't know what happened, but ever since
How do
Twitch
you
integration,
break things this
seems-
badly?
I don't even know if it's Sneaky's fault. I think it might be Twitch integration's fault that broke the server.
But
I
you
think that's
have
what-
the exact same permissions. I don't understand.
Why would we have the mod? Why would we give the mod access to the streaming channel?
He doesn't need access to it unless we want him in here.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was my thought process. I was like, I don't need to give the mod access because we're gonna have more mods eventually someday.
Yeah, like 4 years from now.
Does Ranma now fall in love with herself? It is fan fiction. Self-cessed is a thing for some reason. This isn't a Naruto story. I'm sure there's been at least one self-cessed story for Ranma.
Oh, I'm sure there's been a lot more than one.
No, it's pretty much just one. Likely. Two, maybe. Anyway,
You sound like you've read them, Sneaky. Would you care to share with the class?
look, I have not read any of them, but I have gone through the Ranma section quite thoroughly because I really liked Ranma.
Isn't the Ranma section fairly small?
Yeah, there's only like 300 stories.
Oh, but according to this, there's 13.9. Okay, now if I put that in
Okay.
just English, what's that get knocked down to?
It's
Wow! 7.9 thousand.
Yeah, there's.
Woo.
A little less than half the section is all in foreign languages.
Yep. Probably Japanese. Anyway,
Oh.
blah blah blah, cameras, blah blah blah, you're adorable, blah blah blah, pigtail. You've always sold Kuno enough pictures. Basically, everyone's just acting like the cardboard cutout of themselves with no actual extra thought put into it. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Take the stinking pictures. After about 10 shots of Ronco posing, thank you for the business. That's enough identity crisis for one day. What part of that entire section was identity crisis? Anyone wanna?
Don't look at me. I don't know. Didn't sound like there was a crisis going on.
I have no idea. Not unless we actually read through the chapter instead of the blah blah blah.
No, I skipped it right at the bottom because right at the bottom it was just hey, they're taking pictures of Ronco. That's why I was blah 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 skipping it. And what the fuck? I don't hate you. I just despise your existence. There's a difference.
There's a very small difference.
Yeah, and I like you to understand that difference.
Understandable.
So if the sixes from Battlestar had an orgy, that would count as self-cessed. Well, I don't know anything about Battlestar, so sure.
Well, the real question is if it's self-censored masturbation. Yeah, no, we're not getting.
Anyway,
into a battle
We're not
star
going to get into
Have
that.
you
We're
been
not going to
following
get into
the
that. I
story so
agree.
far?
Let's not get into
No,
that.
sir? Have you been following
Yes.
the story? Yeah, okay. So, would you like to point out to me what part of that entire section was an identity crisis? Because it seems
None
like
of it.
very much
None of it.
not any of that.
None of it.
Yeah.
None of it. Literally none of it.
Yeah. 10 minutes later. What a haul, what a haul.
I think they meant H-A-U-L there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm really hoping.
Because listen, unless you're in a castle,
Wow!
no
this
one
is
should
an
ever be
amazing
shouting,
hallway!
"What a haul!"
Oh, jeez, it's so hallway-like.
Hey, look, he's
Wait, why are we talking about
he's
Final Fantasy
really-
13?
really. Oh wow.
Oof,
Mm.
oof.
I
Hey,
saw
I
my
mean,
opportunity.
Hey,
Oof.
at
Oh.
least it's not Final Fantasy 2, alright? We're not talking about that shit.
Sank the ship to kill the captain. Oof.
Damn straight I did.
We will never be going into Battlestar as I never got into it, and these dunk wads will never take up their impetus.
Look, I'm already in Warhammer 40k. I'm not getting into another fucking shit show.
You listen
You
here.
old
I
freak,
I
it's
got
way too late for
halfway
this sort
through-
of thing.
I got halfway through the first season of Battlestar, and then Netflix took it off. So that's why I haven't seen Battlestar.
Ranma was chasing Hipposai through the upstairs hallway because he had just seen him swipe some of Akane's underwear. He was getting real sick and tired of the old freak's pranks and was coming close to booting him out for good. Even though Hipposai has consistently kicked the shit out of Rama. Beyond his Hapo fire bursts, he was already better than the freak in a physical match, except he really isn't. Ranma, it's almost 10 o'clock. What are you doing? Akane said as she entered the hallway. Akane, while Hipposai jumped behind her, Ranma hit Akane before he could stop, and they tumbled down the stairs.
Isn't he a master martial artist?
Yes.
I'm
He's a
pretty
master
sure
Not,
he
martial
can
not
use
only is he a
punch.
master martial artist, he's a master martial artist of mid-air redirection.
I thought it was just called Anything Goes.
Well, yeah, but the branch of the anything
So,
goes that
yes.
Ranma knows is midair redirection.
Oh.
So, like I thought, that shouldn't be happening.
And this is a completely realistic response. Akane yelled, "You jerk!" Period. "Why did you knock me down?" Question mark. "And get your hands off me!" Exclamation mark.
Okay, look, I dearly hope that the main female love interest would be intelligent enough to realize that someone jumped behind her, and that's why she's decked.
Kane's kind of jumpy.
Akane isn't jumpy. She's like nose hair tear retarded.
All right, never mind. Carry on then, I guess.
Listen here, you.
I didn't do it on purpose.
I'm not that retarded.
And who would want to touch a tomboy like you? Jerk, sexless, pervert, uncute. Ranma and Akane paused suddenly and looked at each other. They looked at each other for a while. Then they just chuckled.
I am human.
Ranma loved Akane. Akane loved Ranma. They both knew this, especially after Akane nearly Ranma gulped.
What?
Okay, I understand what the author was trying to do. They did it wrong and poorly. They're trying to set up a romantic scene. His own thought process.
Yeah.
Like, he's going like, because he doesn't want to think about something.
He didn't like thinking about it. He couldn't stand to lose Akane ever again. And Akane couldn't stand to lose Ranma. She fought long and hard to fight past her own denial, to realize she'll fight to keep the person who'd sacrifice everything for her in an instant. Akane gave Ranma a small kiss on the cheek and hugged him. Ranma blushed and felt really awkward, but he smiled and hugged her back. As long as he could have moments with Akane, he let go of his pride. Suddenly, a large amount of water fell on Ranma, splashing them both. Haposai, who was above them a sack on his back, was holding an empty bucket of water. "Stupid old man, what you do that for?" the now female Ranma yelled. Haposai said with delight, "Ah, to have such two pretty ladies together, I couldn't resist. Now Ranma, why don't you put some bras for me while your girl, please?" Grrr. Ranko was starting to lose her temper and started emitting a powerful battle aura. Akane tried to calm the situation. "Ranma, don't bother. Wait, are those my bras?" she exclaimed, without any sort of exclamation involved. "Yup, and even some of Ranma's that she got from the Doka a while back. They're not..."
Hold up, back up. Did I just hear Madoka?
No Doka.
Okay.
You massive weeb.
No, I was like, hold up. Back up a second. How many crossovers are these?
Like that wasn't an awkward experience, despite hanging out with his loving mother. How did he find them? He'd never be caught dead wearing a bra as a person with breasts. Ranma yelled, "Ya old freak, I'll kick you out of this house if it's the last thing I do." Haposai ran into the living room. She turned to Akane and said, "I'll be back in a second, okay? Just gotta teach this old freak a lesson." Beep boop. Human interaction, full capacity.
I haven't read dialogue this stilted since I read a script written by Shatner.
Wow. There's a fucking pull.
Alright, got a Star Trek reference in there? Excellent. 10 out of 10, boys. We all done. We can all go home.
I'm sorry. You took a pause there. Have you got a fucking bingo card sitting next to you with that shit?
A what?
Have you got a fucking bingo card sitting next to you
What?
with these kind of locations?
Bingo card
No, I know for a fact you don't have a bingo card of that.
We could sell that, I bet.
I'm sure we could, along with the 4 or 5 other pieces of merch we'd sell, Max.
Like the Kevlar
But
Bible.
we need a bigger audience first. Also, Sneaky, an idea I had for the body pillows, we should have numbered editions of them.
I'm sorry, were you thinking about me on body pillows and were like, I can sell more of these?
Yes, I was, because I like money more than my brain recoils in horror at the thought of you on a body pillow.
Fair enough. Okay, so, stilted dialogue, this story sucks. Zex, you're a terrible person, you're shit. Alright, moving on to the next story!
Yeah, this is some really... Sorry, Sex, like, I was like, we'll give the second chapter a try. This is just some really stilted dialogue.
It's real shit, if that's what you're saying.
Well, I mean, part of it is Sneaky going out of his way to make it stilted.
No.
No.
Even
Yeah,
the
no,
stuff
I
I
am
read
reading
ahead,
it with about as much as
Hold on a
emotion that's
minute.
been put into it.
even when I read ahead and tuned Sneaky out, which is a valuable skill that all of Sneaky's friends develop, I
Oh,
was like,
yes.
this is still pretty bad.
I mean, if you say so, but like a lot of the problems that I've been noticing is that
I am
when he
not
doesn't
denying
feel
that
like putting
a
in-
large amount of it has to do with Sneaky's delivery. A
Like,
large amount of
here's
it
the
has
thing.
to do with Sneaky's
Yeah.
delivery.
Oh, I am completely biased
I-
and flavor my stories exactly as I see them.
I'd say 60% is Sneaky's fault because a lot of what comes across with storytelling is the speaker.
Oh yeah, like
That's what people
I
don't
made
realize
that
about
one
story.
story really awesome, the Undertale story, the Undertale Ruby story really awesome by doing it in a southern accent.
I wouldn't say really awesome, but you certainly made it tolerable.
Really awesome for how shit it was.
And this is just for me personally, I would never pick this story up because I haven't seen Rodma, so my opinion on this, I can't have much of an opinion on this because it hasn't really gotten to Bleach yet, so...
Yeah, no,
I wanted to ask, is there anything
I
worth
wouldn't
reading
go
in the
through all of
Madoka
Ranma
Magica
again.
section? I looked at one point, and most of what I found was edgy or porn.
There is nothing. There is
that's
no
pretty
hope.
much all you're gonna find there.
There is nothing and there is no hope.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna find anything. Anyway, this is a Naruto Fear crossover, and as always, the link to it is in the Discord found down below. The self-proclaimed god, the rabbit goddess, and the psychic goddess. This is a Naruto Kaguya Alma Wade cross fanfiction harem. They all had things in common. They were alone. They didn't want to be alone. They hated things. Man, they had someone or something to hate. And most importantly, they were able to reach the stage of godhood. But there is one question you have to ask. How can the world stop them? Naruto was neglected and ignored in this fic. Hey guys, I'm back with another fanfiction. This one has been on my mind for a while, so might as well get on with it. Let's get this over with. I do not own Naruto Fear or One Piece. Naruto's personality will just be like Anel's, but he'll be more disrespectful. So get ready for him saying I'm God a lot. The devil fruit Naruto eats is my customization personal creation.
Oh boy.
This should be in multi-crossovers.
No, just whenever I hear anything crossing over with One Piece and Naruto, I'm just like, this is just gonna be
instantly
awful.
shit. It's just instant garbage.
Yes.
It's like ramen. You add water, you get instant ramen. You add
Snake-
One Piece, you get instant trash.
Sneaky,
As much as I like the actual One Piece, yes. And whenever you add One
Yeah.
Piece to a fanfiction, it's trash. Because unfortunately, all the people who write fanfiction are either A, shippers, or B, shitposters.
yeah. Sneaky, have you looked? Do you know enough about Madoka Magica that you would dig through the fanfiction section of it?
I
'Cause
know enough
Isley-
about Madoka Magica to not dig through the fanfiction section of it because I actually liked what I do know.
Ah, okay. Because Isley was asking if there was anything worth reading
No,
in
we
that section.
covered that a while back.
Max, just save yourself.
Yeah. No, you kind of just tuned us all out. Admittedly, I haven't played Fear. I don't think Alma was a god, just really powerful psychic. Why must One Piece infect everything? Why would an author expect anyone to read their work if that's one of their introductory sentences? To be fair, I started one of my introductory sentences with, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing with this. But also, to be fair, that was a Five Nights at Freddy's Worm crossover. So, yeah.
You are forgiven for thinking that.
On the night of October 10th, the catastrophe had befallen Konohakura. The people were unaware and unprepared for that their village was under attack by the Biju known as Kyubi, also known as Nine-Tailed Fox. Actually, it was known as Kyubi. The English translation is Nine-Tailed Fox.
I'm sorry, I need a moment to... The people were unaware that their village was under attack.
Oh, what crossover? Five Nights at Freddy's crossover. That animatronic game where you sit in the office and you have to look at the cameras and then they jump out at you in a really cheap animation style and you.
And it's kind of still terrifying, but yeah.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but I posted it and I was just like, what the fuck, why did I do this? Sneaky, you're a bad person. Yes.
Alright, I'm back for answering the door.
How long did it take you to think that? How long did it take that person to realize that? That's my
I
question.
fully accept this this label you have given me.
I'm really
sorry,
annoyed
was
with
this
this
about a
author
label?
immediately now.
Well, many shinobi and kunoichi were putting their lives on the line to
Excuse me.
defend their own.
What did I miss? I walk away to answer the door for like a minute. What the hell happened?
Naruto has a harem with Alma Wade and, what's her face? Kagura.
Yep, that checks out. Everything makes sense. Carry on.
Also, he ate a devil fruit from One Piece, and now he's God. And
We don't
I
even
heard
know.
you. I just
yeah,
don't care anymore.
We don't even know. I'm curious what this devil fruit actually is going to be, though.
yeah. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Panic was spreading through the ranks as the absence of their leader, the Yodaime Hokugu. Meanwhile, in a chamber hidden away within the Hokugu Monument, Minato Namikuze was in the process of helping his wife with the delivery of their children. Minato was in a panic, hearing the sound of his village being destroyed and feeling the Kyubi's violent attacks through the chamber was worrying the young Kage to death. Weeks ago, Minato delved into figuring out a way or destroy the Biju without endangering his wife and his unborn children. From the past reports that he had studied and reviewed, Jinchuriki was the most vulnerable when giving birth, though in the end Minato wasn't successful in finding a solution that he liked. Sealing the beast was the only solution that he had been able to come up with, though the price of sealing the beast was condemning himself and the beast to the Shinigami and his children to carrying such a terrible burden. However, fate decided otherwise. You are lucky, mortal! Contracting me using the Shakai Fujian requires that you forfeit your soul and by extension your life once the sealing is completed. However, removing you from this plane of existence while your family still requires you, you who gave life to the chosen one, for this I will pardon the requirement of consuming your soul, but I will take you somewhere far, far away as compensation. Do not forget this, mortal. Your foolishness with lead.
You to your own despair. No, that's not English. I mean, it is English, but...
The Shinigami ominously said, sealing the soul, yin and yang chakra of the Kyubi into 3 of his 4 children, Natsuko, Mito, and Menma, respectively. Oh, excellent. I didn't realize this was quadtuplets. Isn't Alma like
Boy,
10?
do I feel sorry for whatever her name is, the
Alma.
wife.
I'm just confused,
Alma's like
honestly.
a grown woman by the Time of Fear 3, I think it was. So I mean, it's less disturbing. Sort of.
Is it?
It's still Alma though, so it's
Is
like,
it really less
it's
disturbing?
like
Sneaky?
sticking your dick into an animate blender. That's also in love with you, I guess. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. don't do it.
Really, don't do it. I mean, well, if you're gonna do it, film it for science.
No.
After the sealing and the confrontation with the Shinigami was over, the threat of the Kyuubi averted, and Konoha shifted its attention to treating those injured from the event and to rebuild what was lost. Okay, one other thing I want to say, now that we're going into a line break, one of the things I want to say about, I fucking hate stories like this, is where it goes, it sealed the yin and the yang and the soul into 3 different people, and sometimes they go, and the body too. And it's like, no. Canon, Kyuubi is a massive chakra. It is physically the manifestation of its yin and yang, which happens to be the spiritual representation of the soul. And if you want to get super nitpicky, yang is the representation of the body, and yin is the representation of the mind. At the end of the day, though, that only leaves 2 things. There is no body, there is no soul. There is the yin and the yang, and together they make the soul. Spiritually. Learn shit, folks. Learn shit.
But learning shit is hard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
basically what every fucking person is. I mean, yes, neglect effects are obviously dumb and stupid and shouldn't exist. But my massive problem with it is always like, okay, so they apparently had quadtuplets, and he sealed the Kyuubi into parts that shouldn't exist into different people. But then it's also like, oh, and everyone gets powers except Naruto, who got the body of the Kyuubi, but also somehow got its mind, even though its mind is sealed in someone else, and its body is sealed in someone else, and its soul is sealed in someone else, but the Kyuubi's body and mind are also in Naruto, and then he uses the Kyuubi's body and mind, even though spiritually, philosophically, and literally, all of its power is sealed in other people, also is the strongest of the Kyuubi containers?
Everything checks out. Stop asking stupid questions, you jackass.
I can't see.
Don't you know that you're just supposed to take everything the author says on faith ever?
No.
Yes.
Odd thought, I need to see what sort of weird pervert shit the internet has done to Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Verboten.
Why would you?
Why?
Why would you want to see that?
This is verboten.
But why?
Why would you go looking for that?
Isley, I'm significantly concerned about
Guys,
you.
I think Isley is a massive pervert.
Ainsley, I think we need to say one thing to you, and that is verboten.
Max, as the consultant, I request that you consult the table of languages and find every way to say no and just start reading them off to Isley.
Scene change! To the hospital. Everyone had better not be slacking. If I even think you're not giving it your all, I'll drive you through the wall!
I'm not touching
Tsunade, that is extremely counterproductive. Do not make the medics bedridden or dead.
I was gonna say, driving them through a wall tends to be a bad thing.
Roared a beautiful blonde woman with her hair tied in 2 tails. That woman.
But Carl, that kills people.
That
it only
woman
kills a few
being
people.
one of the Densu no Shanin, Tsunade Shenju, as she stormed into the hospital after checking on the Uzumaki Namikaze family. Glancing around and noticing the lack of attention directed at her due to the crazy atmosphere, Tsunade decided to ask her right-hand woman assistant and disciple what the situation looked like so far. Question mark, explanation point. Shizune! Exclamation point, question mark. Roared Tsunade, not seeing her anywhere. Tsunade-sama, the injured have been reduced by half thanks to field staff dealing with situations outside of the hospital that weren't severe enough to warrant admission. And from the number of patients and medics, I'd estimate we're almost finished treating the ones who have been admitted, and I haven't seen more than 7 patients be admitted in past hour. I think that most of the shinobi and villagers who were injured have been taken care of! Exclamation point, replied a pretty yet exhausted woman with shoulder-length raven hair, Shizune, Tsunade's assistant and disciple. No wonder who Shizune is.
I have so many questions. I feel like none of them are going to get answered.
Is it supposed to be like Tsunade's Shizune or some other Shizune?
Yes.
That's not an answer, Sneaky.
Releasing a relieved sigh, Tsunade voiced her relief with the now stable situation at hand. Woo! That's good. I had imagined that there would be many more injured than that. Thank goodness the casualties were minor. That means that all the injured are accounted for, meaning that the village got out of extremely good shape when you compare it to other villages who were attacked by Bijou. Also sharing a sigh of relief with her mentor, Shizune remembered the two were in the middle of the attack. Tsunade-sama, you said that all the injured were accounted for, right? What about Kushina-sama and Minato-sama? Shouted a worried Shizune, having momentarily forgotten about the village leader and his wife.
Yeah. We just forgot about the most important dude in the village. Just forgot about him.
And his wife, who was pregnant.
No, it's fine.
See, people in Naruto have, like, severe issues with memory, so we can just forgive that, right?
I'm aware Shizune was Tsunade's assistant in canon. I'm just making fun of the author for having said that Shizune was Tsunade's assistant like 4 different times. Get the fuck out of this fight. Relax, Shizune! They're safe! Sorry, hold on. Relax, Shizune! They're safe!
Scream louder? I don't think my eardrums are bleeding yet.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Minato had a rather severe case of chakra exhaustion, but he'll be alright knowing him. Kushina, on the other hand, other than the typical signs of giving birth, is completely fine.
Don't worry, it's just a bunch of, minor problems. It's nothing important. You don't need to worry about it.
Even after having the Kyuubi forced out of her, she's still alive and is going to be fine. She'll be up in no more than 5 hours tops. Really? She'll be up and about in 5 hours after having a Bijou forcefully extracted from her, which usually kills people, and then giving birth to 4 kids.
Yo, dog, I don't think you understand how human anatomy works.
Yo, dog, I don't think you understand how anything works. Alright, everyone, check off your bingo cards. Author doesn't know shit.
And with that, Sneaky rage quit. GG.
Wait. By the way, wasn't the whole disciple shtick something from canon or fanon? No. Disciple was canon. Blah blah blah. Relieved, happy, danger. No more than 48 hours had passed. Blah blah blah. So you didn't lose your soul. Sensei, I told you I'm fine. I can do everything without any problems. Yes, that's so Minato-like. I need to go see Kushi-chan and my kids, so don't worry about me. Creating his fabled Visengan to emphasize his point.
Just gonna casually whip her Sengan out in the middle of a hospital?
No, in his house. With a sigh.
Still a problem.
With a sigh, he relented, patted his student's shoulder, congratulated him. I'm proud of you. Kushina was a badass. Okay, look, I don't care how badass you are. Kushina, in canon, could have survived the Kyuubi being extracted from her. True. However, giving birth to Naruto and having the Kyuubi extracted from her left her incredibly weak. I can only imagine, being that I have witnessed birth several times now, a woman giving birth to 4 kids consecutively is exponentially more difficult and tiring. Feel free to correct me, anyone.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head there.
Good. My nose is bleeding.
Insofar as caveat, my limited medical knowledge goes.
Yes. I'm proud of you, Minato. I couldn't have ever had a better student. And they're beautiful, Kushi-chan. Me and Akun were all evolved together. Their soul hasn't been taken, and I survived being Kyuubi. And blah blah blah. The children will grow up and we'll all love them. Little did they know that this incident will bring them to disaster. For they forgot about the baby that they should have taken care of.
I'm sorry, they forgot about what?
Apparently, Kushina just totally forgot about the 4th kid. And was only holding 3 of the babies.
What?
And like,
What is that
and like,
sitting in our chat?
No.
What?
Go look in dumpster. If I had to see that, so do the rest of you.
Oh, yep, that's a timeout.
Do I have to ban someone? Okay,
No,
yep.
I'm just timing them out. I'm muting them.
It's you know how to do it, right?
What the fuck? Oh, right, I have to actually remove his... I can't actually do it. Because it turns out I can't get rid of him from box seats.
Good job,
no,
Sneaky.
Mute overwrites it.
Okay, good.
I believe at least. Mute should overwrite it. It's one of the highest ranks out there.
We'll undo it when the stream is over. Or after 5 minutes. Depends on what Sneaky wants.
Oh.
Punished for your
covered
students.
in? Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Good job.
I took care of it.
If we can certainly stop you. Ricky, look up the purge command while I pull up the next fic. Okay, so let's see what we got for an audience. Okay, we got a couple people who hate Ruby stories, so I guess we're gonna pass on that one. Unless we want to do the Rosario vampire Ruby fic.
Ugh.
Alright, then we're gonna do Harry Potter.
Alright.
Alright, so this is Harry Potter Occupation Necromancy.
Okay, maybe some potential.
Here, hang on. I'll send it to you.
Okay, hold on. Fucking, I'm gonna figure this out one day.
Figure what out?
This fucking mute thing, eventually, someday. Okay, hold on. All right, and boom. Okay, there we go. Now muted works. Or it
No.
continues to not fucking work.
Now he's just a different color.
I fucking give up, okay? I just fucking give up. I don't understand this shit. Someone figure out what the fuck's going on.
It's because he's still technically box seats, and we can't get rid of that role from him.
No, that doesn't matter at all. If you have a higher role that disables chat, it should disable chat.
Well, then I don't fucking know, dude.
Also, box seats gives him nothing. Like, literally, box seats gives nobody anything.
I'm just wondering if it might like be interfering with the.
No, it really shouldn't be. Fucking Christ, okay. I'll figure this out at some point. Fucking God.
Someday you'll be smart enough to figure out the bot you created.
Yeah, I didn't even fucking create it. I downloaded it because I was like, we should use this, and then I was like sitting here like, alright, well this should be simple, right? Clickety click, click, click. Nothing fucking works. God damn it, everything's broken. The
So wait, did
server's
we
on
mute
fire.
him and the mute didn't work?
The mute doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Even though it says he's muted.
Yes.
10 out of 10. Flawless victory.
I don't even. I don't own Harry Potter. Harry Potter occupation necromancer. Does nurture beat nature? Did I put this in fanfiction?
Yes.
Yes, I did. Does nurture beat nature? Can a wizard become a necromancer? Can a muggleborn become a paladin? Harry and Dudley are
No,
about to
the
find
answer to
out.
all of these is no.
Warning! There's card games involved, war, and adult content. Read only if you are over 18. Actually, your story should not be here at all if you're over 18, because that's how the rules work here. Good Dursley's story isn't dead, I'm just not working on it. Chapter 1, The Right Household. A knock on the door woke him up. He looked over at the clock. It was 1 a.m. Vernon had work at 8. Pet, I'm going to check the door. Stay with Dudley. She looked frightened. He held a cricket bat in his hand as he opened the door. A baby in the cradle was at his door. A fresh cut was on his head. I'm assuming it's a Britishism. There was a letter in the crib. He picked it up and read it over. This child was Harry Potter and his nephew. What is it, Vernon? He turned to Petunia. She looked frightened, and worse, he had bad
And
news
Vernon
for her.
just closed the door and said nothing at all.
Gently, he scooped the child out of his crib. The child only stared at him. Starred at him. He smiled, a gentle smile, one he used for the more nervous applicants. Young engineers with students' loans over their heads needed all the help they could get. Who is that child? She paused when she saw the green eyes. No, they were protected. They killed her, and they were supposed to protect her. Tears fell from her face. Dudley began to cry. He looked over to see his son's bottle in the boy's hands. Dudley reached for the bottle across the room. It vanished from Harry Potter's grasp and appeared in Dudley's. Just as his son began to drink, Harry laughed and teleported the bottle back to him. Vernon and Petunia watched the two boys laugh and teleport the bottle back and forth. In a strange performance of completely underaged magic that they shouldn't have been able to do. Dudley, he has magic, Vernon nodded. Yes, indeed, he does, Pet. They both do. He took a breath and remembered what the letter said. There was a terrorist, apparently, where they lived in this house. They were safe.
A terrorist.
There was a terrorist! A fresh cut isn't a Britishism, it just means a cut that is recent. What? If he said a fresh cut on his head, Yeah, that still doesn't. No, I still. It's still.
It's talking about the
no.
scar, Sneaky.
Yeah, I realize now. Now I realize it's talking about the lightning bolt, but I'm just like, the fuck is that supposed to be? Like, I shouldn't have to sit here and have someone else explain it to me. You know, there was a cut in the shape of a lightning bolt on his forehead. You know, like a fresh cut was on his head. That I have never heard someone say anything remotely close to that before. So you'll excuse me if I didn't understand what the fuck they were talking about. The boys looked up from their game. Vernon forced a smile on his face. The kids went back to their game. Taking a deep breath, he stared back at Petunia. Pet, it doesn't make sense. If they couldn't keep them safe in a random cabin that no one knew about, then they can't protect us here. We must be careful, Pet. We need to appear as normal as possible. The boys can't be outside in the front. The boy, our nephew, we can dye his hair. Makeup can hide his scar. Vernon felt the wheels in his head turning. Petunia was looking more relieved. He could talk the talk, but if his boys go about playing in public, then their goose was cooked. He left his wife and the boys get to bed. Harry wasn't asleep for a few hours before he woke up screaming. Vernon rushed to Dudley's room. His cricket bat was raised to deal a lethal blow to an intruder. It was good that he did. Toys shot at him like bullets. After he batted them away, he got a good look at what was going on. Dudley woke up frightened when Harry screamed. When he walked in, they saw a shadowy figure and opened fire with even more wild magic. Either they stopped when they got a good look at him, or they ran out of ammunition. The toys stopped flying, at least. If Vernon from the movies was any indication, then small children would be crying. Yeah. Both boys stared at him, tears flowing from their eyes. This night was getting better and better. He turned on a lamp and reached over to the bookshelf. Somehow it escaped the onslaught. He picked through the books. His heart rate was up and he wouldn't be able to sleep right now. The boys needed a little something. It seems like this night was trying for everyone. I need a little fucking something.
You okay there, Sneaky?
No,
I don't think he is.
my suffering is immense and eternal.
Hey, that's your standard for America. Deal with it.
I suppose. He found the book he was looking for. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship. The boys were a bit young, but he felt up to a little voice acting. Weeks passed in a blur. He trained the boys with candy. When they were in public
What?
and the boys did something out of the ordinary, he gave them a stern look. When they tried to reach for something and waited for him to get it for them, he gave them a sweet. At home, it was the opposite. He gave them candy whenever they used their magic and withheld it when they didn't.
This seems like a super chill Vernon.
I was gonna say, this does not sound like the Vernon in the books who was
Like,
adamantly
and
afraid
I
of
get
magic.
it. Dudley is like magic too, but still.
Yeah, no, this is like super hyper chill Vernon. Hi, Chrysanthemum. So glad you could join us today. It's pain and suffering on the menu. Some nights he went to the gym. Some of the younger men made fun of him for being an overweight manager. A few of them he remembered the line they ran. He smiled at the boys.
I mean, look, I'm not complaining that much. It's refreshing to see a story where the Dursleys aren't like Hitler incarnate, but still. It's kind of out of character.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, we never really got any explanation as to why the Dursleys were evil, because J.K. Rowling writes in a very black and white view of these people are evil, so therefore they do bad things.
Unfortunately, yes.
Why would they abuse a kid? Because they're evil, duh. Anyway. Blah, blah, blah. He lost weight. Honestly, depending on what you're doing, you really don't lose weight when you work out. Like I said, depending on what you're doing. If you're just doing cardio, I guess you're gonna lose weight. But like, any sort of strength training will make you usually end up gaining weight. Because, you know, muscle weighs way more than fat. Anyway. Pet was never happier to have a fit, strong man. There was information I didn't need to know, and that sentence was one of them.
Yep.
Harry still had nightmares. He read to the boys every night, took them to the local bookstore to pick out new titles. She did say he was good at knack for voices and role play in the bedroom aside.
Okay, author,
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you to stop.
This is information that was not needed. Brought to you by the letter Stop.
This was information that was never requested.
Right now, he was squatting 300 pounds and on his 20th rep. Okay, yeah. No, he's doing strength training, he should be gaining weight. Especially if he's doing 300-pound squats. Afterwards, there would be cardio, and then after a long, relaxing drive home, there was steak tonight, and he wouldn't miss it for the world. He shouldn't be missing it for the world. He needs a lot of fucking protein if he's doing fucking 300-pound squats. Only like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot of strength training, my dude.
Yeah. Taking in young Harry Potter has injected danger into their lives. He didn't regret it. The boys played well together, and it reminded him of his days as a D&D dungeon master. Maybe when they were older, he would take out the old set and play with the boys. 2 years later, the higher-ups decided he was a real go-getter. After losing the weight and gaining 20 pounds of muscle, just 20...
It's not how it works!
Hey, no, at least they'd recognize that he would have gained weight from muscle.
Yeah, but they said he only gained 20 pounds of muscle. That's actually not a lot of muscle for doing 300-pound squats and shit.
I was gonna say, I'm fairly certain 300-pound squats will get you, like, how many pounds of muscle?
I mean, that will solidly set you around 300 pounds. Like, easily. If that's gonna be your normal workout.
Like, that's straight up, like, heavyweight champ territory.
No, not even close. No, dude, heavyweight championships, they're like in the 1,000. Last I checked, the record was like, what? 1,200? 1,500? Something like that?
Probably.
Heaviest squat. What's the heaviest squat of all time? The Olympic weightlifting competition was 500 pounds of dead weight. And he weighs 400 pounds. Okay, and then there's Eddie Hall, who weighs 350 pounds, who can deadlift... Yeah, there you go. 1,100 pounds. Yeah. So... yeah.
Really fucking heavy.
Yeah. So 350... Yeah, so 300 to 350 pounds is the normal squatting, deadlifting weight area. Yeah, so, those guys are fucking bulky as shit.
And then you have the Mountain.
His whole family is just ridiculous.
Yeah, terrifying. Terrifying is the word you want, Sneaky.
Anyway, so 2 years later, blah, 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 go-getter. The fat was gone and stayed gone. He had more energy than ever, and it really showed. The little winging branch of Gunning's drills was his, or as good as his. They made him the manager. He made a pay increase. He bought stocks under his keen eye and a bit of intimidation. The plant ran like a well-oiled machine. Boys were pulling weeds. Blah, blah, blah. Harry may not have been his son, but he certainly inherited Vernon's work ethic. Steady but sure speed. Dudley, with both sets of gloves on, pulled the larger thorny weeds. Harry picked up the smaller ones. Dudley was a bit on the plump side, despite of the exercise they both got. Harry was a beanpole no matter how much they fed him. Blah, 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 blah. Dad, Mom is giving us money. We can go to the store tomorrow. Please, please, please. You bet. What are you boys after? We wanted the Diablo 2 game, sir. It has demons, angels, warriors, mages, and necromancers. We have 2 computers, and if we each get a copy, we can play together in the same story. Aren't they like fucking 6?
Yeah, they should not be buying Diablo.
2 years later,
See, he's a cool dad. He lets his kids play video games.
5! He is
I don't care how old
5!
they are. They shouldn't be playing Diablo.
They really
this author
should
probably
not be playing Diablo at the age of 5. Jesus Christ, author.
No, like,
See,
even if
this
they're
is
like
the
10,
author that-
especially based on how stern a father Vernon is, I can see he'd be like, this is rated 18 and up. You're not playing this.
I mean, I just don't see parents in general buying their kids a game called Diablo 2. I'm sorry, but the 90s were very much like that.
Oh no. My mom wouldn't let me buy Knights of the Old Republic 2 because she didn't like how one of the Sith Lords looked on the cover. I'm not even joking about it.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
We had very different childhoods, it seems.
Yes, my parents cared about my social well-being. Yours didn't. We know this.
No,
Carry
my
on.
dad would just let just let me play Doom on his computer.
Hey,
That's
no,
what
whoa, hey, hold a second. My dad introduced me to Medal of Honor when I was 10 years old, and I turned out fine.
Sneaky.
I played the entirety
You are
of Doom.
you.
I played through the entirety of Doom when I was like 6, dude. He's just like, hey, have fun with this. I'm like, what is this? He's like, you press the spacebar to shoot and you move around with those. How do I look around? You don't look around. What do you mean? That was me at 6.
Diablo came out in
took
the
me
2000s.
like 2 years.
Yeah, that's another good point. Diablo 2 came out in the 2000s. Like 9 years before this fucking thing even happens. I'm sorry, boys. The game is very expensive. You'll have to pull weeds for at least another 2 weeks. Lads, in 2 weeks, blah 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 blah, pulling weeds, blah blah blah. Dudley's birthday. As soon as we opened the windows with magic, I still loved the word magic, 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 magic. It was so useful. The book was out of reach. The book came to us. Oh wow, we were just so great. Wait.
No. No waiting.
Rewind. Okay,
Yes, please,
they
I too would
have
like to
Diablo 2. They're playing Diablo 2. Dudley, watch out. We're coming up on the boss. Poison damage was so bad. Necromancers could kill us so easily. Dudley was a paladin. With him, my skeletons got super buff and we killed everyone. It was so cheaty. 2 years later, Harry and Dudley, age 6. So they bought Diablo 2 at the age of 4. 5 years before it came out.
No matter how
Sounds
you
normal.
slice it, this is not okay.
I have a dad that works at Blizzard.
My dad works at Blizzard, guys. I got it early.
Yeah, you know what that gets your dad, kid? Fired.
Ultimate test of secrecy. Dudley and I had to move throughout the student body and not expose magic. Exposure was bad.
That's really not that hard. You just don't use magic.
Yeah. If I got upset, I'd count back from 10, but Dudley was super calm always. He was a Rocka Paladin. Harry Potter. Class laughed. Harry looked around. Here. Embarrassment. Levitated the pencil in his hand. Levitated the pencil in his hand. I better not expose magic. Well, I'm just gonna float this fucking pencil.
No, it's fine.
Fucking Jesus Christ. I'm not expecting them to be boy super geniuses. They're 6 years old. But still, it's like, hey, don't use magic in public. Okay, I won't use magic in public. Proceeds to float pencil around, thinking about how he shouldn't use magic in public. They would go over their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, but Dudley already knew that. He and Dudley already knew that since they were 3 years old. But clearly the author doesn't know how to do that either, because he doesn't know how English grammar works. Though most kids didn't grow up listening to Tolkien, can't even spell Tolkien, right? Harry had trouble rhyming his words. Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon thought it was the cutest thing. Diablo helped them with their numbers. Every item gave percentages. They couldn't have beaten the game without asking for a lot of help. Halfway through the class, they had recess. Dudley led him to a skinny boy named Piers. He had a shifty look. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, I was telling Dudley about this girl who owes me lunch money. Help me get it from her. They looked at each other, extort money. Dudley had a look of fury. He wasn't looking at Harry. No, I just need help. She owes me her money, but won't admit it. Piers, I don't like being used. I'm going to tell a teacher on you. Jessica Meyer, she stole my $5 after it fell out of my pocket. Dudley looked a bit calmer. If it fell out of your pocket, how do you know she took it? Blah, blah, blah. Give me a minute. They're fucking 6! Is anyone else remembering how good and eloquent you were at language when you were 6?
I totally was.
Excuse me, I lied my way out of many situations quite successfully.
I can't lie for shit.
Oh, wait. No, I didn't, because I was 6.
Still can't lie for shit.
I mean, you can try to lie when you're 6. It's just not going to go well.
I was silent at 6. Oh, what are you talking about, Chrysanthemum? You're telling me you weren't a child genius? Like these two apparently are? Give me a minute. Asked her if she found a $5 on the ground. She shook her head, pulled out a bunch of ones. Dudley nodded and walked back. Dudley shakes his head. Before you say anything, Piers, it doesn't prove you didn't lose that 5 if she didn't take it. It only places her in a trap if she did pick it up. She claims to only have ones. Harry catches on to what Dudley is saying. Wow, this is extremely high-level strategy thinking from a bunch of fucking 6-year-olds who apparently beat Diablo 2.
But don't worry, they needed a lot of help.
I was good at escaping apartments at 6. I don't think that has anything to do with charisma. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Discreetly holds out a hand and pictures a 5. He wills for the 5 to come out of the red-haired girl's pocket. A small note with a 5 on it doesn't come from her pocket and instead slips out of her sock. She doesn't notice it. Piers is in front of him and doesn't see the display. Dudley walks past Piers and Harry passes a note to him. Thou shalt not steal, but it says thou instead, Dudley says. Harry shrugs. It doesn't prove that this belongs to Piers. We are going to have to confront a teacher. Dudley nods. Piers sees the money and relief rushes over him. Thou shalt not bear false witness, Dudley quoted. This hurts. I'm assuming it hurts more for you guys.
Yeah, just a little. It's almost like it's almost like self-pretentious preachy pricks are terrible to deal with.
She should have said, yes, I have a 5. If she lied about what she had, then she probably lied about not finding the 5. Dudley handed the 5 to Piers. How did you get it back? I pickpocketed her. Conversations between 6-year-olds. She claimed to have only one, so this is most likely yours. If not, well, you tricked us, but it won't be happening again. Harry considered the boy's eyes. He was shocked. More about being believed than actually getting the 5 back, though. The recess ended, and they struggled throughout the rest of the day. That's a wrap, y'all. This is Ultimate Day Writer. This is a new story I'm trying out. I will post the next chapter tomorrow, and it has more meat in it. This is a different piece because Vernon isn't a jerk. Honestly, I made him a father figure instead because I wanted him to be someone who inspires people to be better. Dudley,
So what I'm hearing is, writer, that you didn't have a father figure.
Dudley is a paladin. He takes his role as seriously and is super paragony. Harry is a necromancer. In the next chapter, I'm going to go into detail into how they pull it all off. So, do we cue the next chapter up for next Tuesday, or do we call this a wash and never speak of it again?
Let's call it a wash.
Max, Atin?
I just said in a week I'll have forgotten about this, so sure, why not?
Max?
But Max, what do you think?
Yeah,
Tiebreaker.
I think I don't care because I honestly know nothing about Harry Potter anyways.
Alright.
So
So it is said and so it shall be. We're doing it next week. Because I do want to see this author's completely redunculous reason as to how this works out, you know? Alright, so Fanfiction Friday, let's see what we got up next. So we've done some Harry Potter, we've done some Naruto, some Fear. What are you guys feeling today? Ruby, we got some Ruby, we got some more Naruto, we got some high school D times D. We got some Bleach. We got some Doctor Who.
Oh, why don't we do some Naruto?
Some Naruto? Okay. And,
boy.
Actually, I forgot to change that.
Because they always whine that we do too much Ruby, so we'll do too much Naruto, and then they'll beg for Ruby.
That would be a sight to see, them begging for Ruby. Cover tricks, okay. Alright.
Also, none of you massive perverts take that out of context.
Alright, so Naruto, here we go. Naruto D times D. Free as a bird, in love with a cat. Are you guys ready for some Blue Eyes White Dragon?
Wait, what?
run that by me again.
Sorry, I meant Blue Eyes White Aryan.
That is not any better.
Naruto Gremory was Rias's twin brother, who disappeared in order to gain what he could not get from the underworld. Years later, he returns to help out with the problems surrounding Kuo and Rias, only to find out there's more about himself than one would have thought. Naruto times Kuroka. You guys ready for this? Yeah? Yeah?
I'm not, but that won't really make
You
a
hyped?
difference, will
You
it?
psyched? You feeling it? Are you feeling it?
I'm feeling the sweet song of death.
Oh, good. You are feeling it. All right. So let's begin. Underworld. Located in a hospital in the underworld, the groans of a woman could be heard. Keep going, dear. You're doing an amazing job. The voice of one Zeoticus Gremory could be heard as he tried to calm his wife who was giving birth. Outside the room, one Sir Zex Lucifer, formerly Gremory and current Satan of the Underworld, was nervously pacing back and forth. Sir Zex looked like a handsome young man with shoulder-length crimson hair and green-blue eyes. You want to take over from here so I can blow my nose without, doing it into the mic?
I'm sorry, what?
You want to take over from here for a second? I gotta blow my nose.
Sure, hold on. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about any of this. I'm just worried, Graphia just nodded as she could feel nervousness rolling off him in waves and walked up to him and put her hand into his in an attempt to reduce some of his nervousness. Suddenly the door opened and out came the doctor, who bowed slightly toward Sir Max. How do I pronounce that crap?
Which one?
Sir Zix?
Sir Zex? I'm not sure. That appears to be German.
You're the consultant. I'm consulting.
I'm looking for it.
Because, I could say it the way Sneaky's been saying it, but I don't trust his pronunciation at all.
That doesn't sound right.
I tried to turn away.
Okay. We haven't had this
We
website
didn't hear
in a
any of
while.
it, so good job, Sneaky.
No, I
Yeah.
muted my Discord and I forgot that the.
Yeah, I haven't had this site in a while. I can't find a pronunciation aside from howtopronounce.com, and because it's trying to pronounce it like it's an English word. Oh boy, listen to that.
Sir Sex.
Thank you, Isley.
I don't think that's quite how that's supposed to go.
Sir Zexama,
howtopronounce.com.
please calm down. Everything will be alright. Greyfuria nodded, blah blah. Sir Zexama, the delivery went successful and without any problems. If you want to see,
Checks out. I
come
see
for
no problems here.
yourself.
Carry on.
Blah blah blah. Made in surprising sight. Mother-in-law, 2 bundles, twins. Why is this a surprise? Are you telling me they don't have any sort of magic or technology to see how many babies are gonna happen?
Yes.
Indeed, we were so surprised as
Like
well.
they couldn't just when is High School D times D set?
2011.
So she couldn't just go in for an ultrasound?
Nah, man, don't you know? Fuck you, logic. What are they called? We've calling this one Naruto. Interesting hair. This one, we all decided to call her Rias. Crimson hair. They're adorable. Which one's the oldest? Both parents went quiet. It was well known that with twins, the oldest, even just by a minute, would become the heir. Unless something else would happen, that would make them change heirs, such as if Naruto would be here in combat. Okay, well, look, see, the little problem with that is that the females, in canon, D times D, take on the name of the family they're marrying into. So, Rias wouldn't be the heir at all unless, Naruto actually didn't exist. Which he doesn't in canon. So she's the heir, because she's the only one.
It's almost like there were some problems with altering who's in what family.
It's almost like Naruto would be the heir. And it's almost like the author is setting this up to be a plot point contention between Naruto and Rias. Blah blah blah, Rias is the heir, we still love Naruto, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, when will you teach the babies, when can they return, we're gonna test them a bit, blah blah blah, then they can leave. Time skip 10 years later. Oh boy, I'm so glad we skipped everything that involved, actually raising 2 children in the devil world. That could have been interesting.
Or anything that might have involved
sure
work on the
glad
author's part.
We sure totally dodged that bullet of actually interesting original work.
It's almost like the author didn't feel like doing any more work, Sneaky. How about that?
10 years later, and so much had happened. Oh boy, I'm so glad the author's about the info dump what happened in the 10-year time skip.
Wait, but wouldn't it have been a better method of writing to just show us it instead of telling us it?
What?
No.
No. That sounds intelligent. We can't have that here.
Oh, okay. Right, I'm sorry. My bad. You know
Over
what?
the years,
That's on me.
Naruto's hair grew long, turning into the same shade of brown.
I'm sorry,
as
did
his
they say
mother.
Naruto's hair or Naruto's harem?
Yes.
Both.
Well, the tips were crimson like his father. Oh boy, he has ruby hair. His eyes.
Is that what you call flaming tips?
Out.
His eyes were a mix between purple and blue, unlike the blue-green his sister and elder brother had. All in all, it took more after his mother, much to her happiness, as both of her siblings were copies of her husband, besides the fact that Rias was female. Oh yeah, besides that fact, that small, little, major genetical issue.
Hold the fuck up.
I'm sorry, I tried to forget that. I tried really hard to forget that. I tried so hard, I actually forgot it. Can you go back over it?
No. His personality was
Thank
more
you.
serious than his sister. While she enjoyed watching anime, he would train or read, and if he didn't enjoy that, he had other preferences. That didn't stop him from joining Rias when she asked him to, much to her happiness. When it came time for the parents to tell Naruto that Rias was the heir, Naruto had surprisingly shrugged his shoulders with indifference before congratulating her, shocking the present, who thought he would have had a different reaction. When asked why, Naruto merely replied he preferred freedom over the tasks that were usually required of an heir, and didn't like that sometimes certain arrangements were made for said person, making his parents and brother flinch a little when he ignored. Okay, it's not just the heir arrangements were made, it was all of the kids. Period. Like, that's how it was in noble families. And in D times D canon, like, all of the noble families had arranged marriages. That's a thing you do, no matter how many kids you have. I mean, usually you have low amount of kids, because noble families tend to be highly infertile due to the amount of crossbreeding.
But yeah, if you have a bunch of kids, you marry all of them off.
Yeah, like, and the non-heir would just end up taking the other family's name or something. You know, it's the whole hair and a spare thing. Yeah, like that was a thing. That was an actual thing. Anyway,
Like a terrible thing, but a thing.
everyone, check work on your bingo cards. Author continues to not know shit about what they talk about.
Confirmed.
Hey, and always also remember, folks, that's the free spot for our bingo cards.
No, the free spot for our bingo cards is me going, ah!
Sneaky screams in pain.
Autistic.
Agonized cleric beast screech.
You leave the cleric beast out of this, it doesn't deserve it. The only thing the cleric beast deserves is a camera rework.
What I ended up doing to Nose Hair last night was just screeching like the cleric beast over and over again.
Why would you?
I
do
hated it.
that? What's wrong with you?
I just had it on repeat in the background so I could copy the tone.
Oh my god.
The worst part is the Cleric Beast
You
theme
realize
came on
human
during all of
beings aren't supposed to make those noises naturally, right?
He makes it pretty well. And it's funny because the Cleric Beast theme came up on my playlist at the same time. It triggered my PTSD super hard.
He's having Nam flashbacks.
Look, with the amount of times we attempted that before Max showed up, I might as well have non-flashbacks.
One of the most important things happened. He inherited the power of destruction.
Okay, so because I know nothing about D times D, it's come up with like a million times. What the hell is the power of destruction? Is it exactly what it sounds like?
Think Soul Stream, but it's red and solid.
So it's incredibly useless.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, based on what we've seen in canon.
If Soul Stream's anything to go by, it's trash.
A 7-year-old Naruto could be seen standing in the backyard of the Grimmery Mansion. Opposite of him was his older brother Surzex, who looked at him with a smile. Alright, Naruto-kun, we're gonna play a little game to increase your reflexes. Surzex spoke to him as
It's called Dodge the Death Ball.
Yeah, basically.
What are you talking about? Called Dodge!
Dodge. Naruto charged the magic out of his body and shot a big fuck off laser beam, and everyone was like, hoop doop doop boop! You got the power of the hoop de boops!
You okay there, Sneaky? I think you're broken.
You're gonna be okay there?
Naruto still remembered that day, even after he fell asleep and his parents congratulated him.
Wait, I'm sorry. He's remembering things from when he was unconscious?
Yes.
Naruto, that's called a hallucination.
Little over a year after Rias too showed signs of having inherited the power of destruction, though they noted her magic pool wasn't as big as his, but it was still above the average pure-blooded devil. I also want to point out that this is
the main character is only slightly worse than the crossover. Mark it off on the bingo card.
I would like to point out once again, this is another bingo. Here we go. We got the main character from one story ends up in another world, but completely unrelated to the actual main character of the story they came from. In fact, they are more or less just someone took the copy and paste skin and put it over an original character. Meat puppet is the word you're all looking for. Anyway. Nisama, I am asking me to get you as...
Hold on, I just had a minor aneurysm from what you just said. Can you say that again?
Nisama is asking me to get you as he will bring us to a Juku-sama to get us each evil piece sets.
I need you to stop saying words.
Nisama!
Max, make him stop.
I cannot control this man. I'm sorry.
That's a lie. I've seen you do it before.
Naruto raised an eyebrow, but on the inside he was excited.
Not even a coin flip. It's like a loaded
Jesus
die
Christ.
with him.
The evil pieces were the genius creation by a Juku as a way to increase their numbers after the war. A pure-blooded or high-class devil were the only eligible for a set which was based after chess, making it have 2 for any high-class devil. Very well, let's get going then. Naruto spoke before he closed his book and stood up and walked over to her. Currently, Naruto was an inch or two taller than Rias, who stood at 4'6".
What?
Together, they walked to the front where they saw their brother waiting for them with a smile on his face. Surzex absolutely adorned his 2 siblings, and it was widely known throughout the underworld that he would do anything for them should either of the 2 ask. Narutan, Rias-tan, are you ready? he asked childishly, making both nod at him. Very well, just keep close to me, all right. Sir Zex spoke before they walked off to one of Sir Zex's friends. As they arrived, both Naruto and Rias took notice of the creepy feeling they had, which increased as they went closer. Arriving at the door, Sir Zex knocked twice before they heard a click as Sir Zex held the door open, letting Naruto and Rias enter first before following behind them. Sir Zex stopped in the middle of the hallway before he suddenly spoke. Ajuka, Naruto-kun, and Rias-chan are here to collect their evil pieces. Sir Zex spoke to seemingly no one.
I want to point out, can I just say one thing at least? At least all of the grammar's been pretty good for all the stories tonight. Nothing horrible. Like, they all remembered what punctuation is.
Oh, the
Well,
first
that's
one
true.
had some problems.
Well, that is true. Isley does bring up a fairly accurate point. In that Rias was the only one to use weebisms, and that no one else did so.
Because none of them were weebs.
So shit like Tan, Kun, and Chan would not be used. We've gone over this before. We'll say it again. Because we actually haven't said that in a while. Don't be dumb,
No,
folks.
I think we've covered people saying things they shouldn't be saying.
Yes, we've covered that before. Blah, blah, blah. Very well. Who's first? Blah, blah, blah.
You
Blah,
okay
blah,
there?
blah. I want you to pour blood on these chess pieces. Blah, blah, blah. Inspecting with childlike wonder. What's this piece? It looks strange. It seems that one of them changed into a mutated piece. They can happen sometimes. They're more powerful.
Look, I know we were making the jokes about Bloodborne, but you need to stop.
Now, Rias, please come her and synchronize with your set to ensure the connection in the future. Blah, blah, blah. Now it's your turn, Naruto-gun. Replaying the actions he did before. Blah, blah, blah. Grabbing the knife and ripping it across his hand. Letting the
That's
blood...
a terrible idea. You're gonna mess your hand up, you little idiot.
Yep. Letting the blood fall freely onto the pieces. They gained a glow, which was a darker shade of red. Once they disappeared, they all were mixed between black and red. Naruto too had strange looking piece which he grabbed. Amazing. It seems you two got a mutated piece, Naruto-kun. Though yours is a mutated queen instead of a bishop, Ajuka informed him, making him nod in understanding. Naruto grabbed the evil piece set before he repeated what Rias did as the piece entered him. For a second, his body was surrounded by a crimson glow, which was only caught by Sir Zex and Ajuka, but they kept silent about it. Clenching his fist, feeling the power, Naruto turned to Ajuka before
Look, I
bowing
get that, like, they're
slightly.
devils, but you
For
think
the
they
thing.
couldn't have come up with something a little more PR-friendly than the evil piece sets?
Oh, I mean, dude, it's totally dark and evil, yo, my dude. It's like totes magotes the evil thing to do. With chess pieces. Honestly, I thought you'd be complaining more about how Heaven has a gambling deck as their
No,
system.
look, that's just something I've stopped bothering to care about at this point. Japan really hates the Christian heaven. I get it.
2 more years pass. 2 years have passed.
How descriptive.
Naruto grew more, and his hair just keeps growing too. And now it's down to his shoulders. And constant training made him super buff, and his magic pool wide.
Wide and long and hard. Wait, I'm sorry, that's not this kind of story.
He is Naruto Swallow.
Oh, so he's just become Gladio finally.
Yeah.
Mom says it's my turn to use the Xbox.
What?
Rias, on the other hand,
That's-
only
That
grew
is
a little.
part of the meme. It's
blah,
part of
blah,
the Spence
blah.
Swallow meme.
Blah 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 blah. Manga, anime. She was sad. She was smaller than him. Marriage to the Phoenix family. This story is boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
I don't think
blah,
anyone will contest that statement.
blah blah key. Blah 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 Sonaton. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 Serafall. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. Gained Rias' first queen. Blah blah blah. Explaining everything behind Keno. Blah blah blah. I want to leave. Sir Zex was shocked. What do you mean you want to leave? I mean, I want to leave.
I want to leave
go...
so that I
want to go to the
have to do
human
any more
world.
That's what Sneaky. Read it like what it actually says. I want Naruto to leave so I don't have to do more work, said the author.
Yeah. I want to explore the world, not the underworld, because that would require political and all sorts of other functions that I have no idea about. I want to talk to regular humans because they're so much easier to write. I want to travel to different countries so I can make up completely random shit and give Naruto random superpowers that he finds in these places. And I want to understand how the world works because I want to be able to portray Naruto as super mature and having the solutions to all the problems that pop up.
Which, once again, will make less work for me.
I want to look
can
for members
show
of my
you the
peerage that I
world.
can't find here, he said, continuing the author's train of thought of giving him completely random people, likely from different series.
I can show you the world.
Sir Zex was shocked that the author would let him do this.
But then he realized he was being written by a very lazy author, so it was totally fine.
Indeed. The author agreed with himself. Alright, Naruto, you can go out on this training trip. Oh boy, thank you for letting me go out on this training trip. No problem, self. Hey, want to make out later? Totally.
Okay, this is starting to sound really eerily similar to Sonichu, and I'm not okay with that.
However, you'll totally have to contact me immediately if you're ever in danger. Oh yeah, I'll totally contact you, Sir Zex. Oh, I
Stop.
know Rias will be devastated if I leave, but you'll have to apologize for her for me because I just need to grow as a person.
Jeez.
Very well. Goodbye, Atoto. Goodbye, Nissan.
Neither knew that they wouldn't see the other for little more than half a decade. Author, I don't think that means what you think it means.
Do I go? Do we even bother with the next chapter next week?
No.
I would say no.
No, with how pained you are, no.
All right, so this is a Star Wars Mass Effect crossover, or do we do?
No.
Do we end the day?
No.
Do we? What do we end the day with?
No, just end the day with that. Oh God, no.
Oh, here we go. No, even better. Even better, boys. The Grim King John.
That's not better. That's worse.
Brought to you by the Just Fucking Dumb category. Oh, just fucking dumb. You will never disappoint. By Keggy Springfield. R.E. Monster A.U. John's death, and now he's reborn as a Grim. RE Monsters, Resurrection Monster. It's a world where gamer mechanics happen, and that when people die in alternate worlds, they end up in the RE Monster world as a randomly selected monster.
Oh yeah, this is the trash thing you directed me to.
I did.
Grim King John. Oh, I think I actually took a look through this.
Follow his journey from being weakest Grim in the pack to strongest Grim in existence ever.
Tried to, I think.
Rated T, but it might be made M based on my mood. I suck at summaries.
What kind of summaries were you planning to make, author?
People don't die when they're killed? No. In this world, people don't die when they're killed.
Yeah.
Oh, so speaking of RubyFix, I'm going to talk about the RubyFix I had to stop reading before we began.
Which one?
So I was reading a RubyFix for quite a while. Enemy, ENMY. It's supposed to be a story in which, during the attack on Beacon, Cinder ends up frozen along with the dragon. And because of that, people are a lot less directly stressed because they're like, oh, well, we took care of Cinder, so we don't have to, like, panic and, search around or whatever. But Ozpin's still dead, so there's still that going on. And the author decided to take it in the direction of, like, Yang's whole team just kind of forgot about Yang because, people weren't really too injured overall besides Yang. And so they were all like, oh, well, we'll just let Yang recover at her home and kind of forget to talk to her because reasons. And then Emerald...
Basically what I'm hearing is this author doesn't like Yang.
And then Emerald, Mercury, and Neo show up and they're like, hey, Yang...
I need you to stop saying things because it hurts.
They're like, hey, Yang, you should join our team and we'll become Team Enemy and we will find your mom... and your mom will help us save Cinder. And Yang goes, I guess. And then this completely original character, super robotist, immortal third demigod, who is secretly just a lolly, shows up and builds Yang a new arm and adds jetpacks to her fists, as well as artillery cannons.
My brain is just full of what?
My brain is asking you to stop saying words.
And then Yang ends up fighting Weiss and Blake, and then Blake ends up eating a new crystal type called Bane, which is actually like dust crystals, but it's filled with Grim stuff.
Bane?
Bane.
Please stop.
And
Please
she
stop.
turns into a giant shadow cat of rage.
Max,
and-
he's not stopping.
You don't get to bring friends, Dr. Paddle.
And so basically, the story was actually like don't get me wrong. The story was actually quite well paced. It was very good overall in terms of character interactions and the new stuff that was introduced. And like he handled it very well. And the reason why I ended up dropping the story because he went full out off the rails of canon, just completely original content, and it was really cool world building. But what killed it for me is in chapter 36 or something like that. The author was like, Yang apparently everyone in the Brandwin family has a family semblance, which is the Nasuverse Deathlines eyes, the mystic eyes of Deathlines, or death perception. Whatever the fuck it's called, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes, that thing I only know about because of Fate Grand Order, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, so anyway, that's what the family semblance for the Brandwin side was. And, that's what the red eyes are, and, Yang's eyes turn permanently red, and she no longer gets stronger from being hit. And this is all because, in actuality... she has two semblances, and a lot of people have two semblances, but one's always the dominant semblance. And to get rid of her ability to see death, and to hopefully turn her to the light side, she has to undergo a magical trial where she eats large amounts of Grim and Aura, and then has to go through a trippy confrontation with her soul, where the representations of her Valor, as it's called, has to fight against her Leviathan. And that's quite literally, it's an angel from the Bible versus the World Eater.
What?
From Norse mythology.
What? I'm sorry. I'm violently offended by everything you've been saying, so I tuned you out like 10 plot twists ago.
Yeah, and that's actually what made me drop the story. The multiple semblances thing, I was just really like,
Like, here's the thing: if they'd just been like, yeah, no, they have a family semblance too, I'd be like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. We know for a fact it can happen.
Yeah, no, and I was just like, I'm not too excited about this whole thing. And then what really killed it though was that she meets them both in this spiritual never land realm, where the imagination it's basically the warp. Okay, it's the warp.
Thank you for being concise with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And, she meets the Leviathan and she meets the 12-winged angel. And they both go, you must be judged, for you balance between Valor and the light and Leviathan, the darkness. And thus, such you shall be judged. And Leviathan goes, yes, but the Valor shouldn't even be here anymore. I should have won if it wasn't for the demigod Lolly that built you those rocket launcher artillery jet-powered gauntlets. And they go, what do you mean? And the Valor's like, oh, well, you see, the rocket launcher artillery jet gauntlets is what kept me in this reality to empower you further.
What the fuck, yo?
I just had a minor aneurysm.
What are you
thanks
smoking?
And that's the point. I just looked at the story and was like, and done.
Gave me a minor aneurysm. Good job, Sneaky. It's only taken you how many years now since I've known you?
Several aneurysms.
Yes. You finally given me a true aneurysm.
Anyway, so that was the story I ended up dropping. Now that we've talked about that a lot, we almost don't even have to talk about this. So instead of reading this, which I'm sure you all were pumped to do, we're instead actually going to talk about what we hate the most about the Ruby fanfiction between the three of us. And I guess No's hair, but I don't think he reads any Ruby fanfiction.
Oh, why are we talking about this?
Well, we can always go back to John King. John the King.
No, I'm good.
So, how much do you hate Ruby fanfiction, and what specifically do you get irritated the most about?
I get irritated by all the OCs.
Really?
I don't hate OCs. I hate poorly done, self-insert OCs that are overpowered, and I especially hate people who are too dumb to realize that you don't just tack a fifth member onto any team.
Fair enough. Max, how about you?
Sorry, I zoned out for the last.
I was going to say, I'm fairly certain Max is like clued down this whole thing.
I only got like 4 hours of sleep because of the storms that moved through last night. I'm fucking tired. It was a slow-ass day at work.
It's understandable. Have a nice day.
What was the question? Was it about OCs? What?
What is the thing you dislike the most about Ruby fanfiction currently?
Currently nothing, because I only stick to Core's stories.
Alright, well thank you for that excellent lead-in, actually. So, Core apparently...
This is when Sneaky reveals that he hates Core.
Core apparently has a problem. And I don't mean in terms of his writing, I mean in terms of his fan base. So in one of his chapter 64 of Forged Destiny, he makes a joke. Because this is the beginning of book 5, as he calls it, for Forged Destiny. Next chapter, this is the author's note, by the way. Next chapter brings the return of the first class, a host of new students, and of course, a team of 4 OCs with deep dark pasts that will hold the keys to saving Remnant. They'll have twin swords that are pistols, whips that are laser beams, and each will be a different kind of faunus. But one will also
Three
be a
different kinds of faunus at once.
3 different kinds of faunus at once. But also half grim or a half dragon, and they'll ensnare the hearts of every woman to draw breath in their vicinity. So he's making fun. He's just absolutely shitty.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say he's just.
Yeah.
Yep. Good job there, Core.
Man, you should have seen his author's note for Captain Dragon today.
Oh, I'm gonna. How is that story? I was always hesitant about reading that, but
I'm enjoying it enough. But like, I tend to that suspension of disbelief switch I have, I tend to turn it off when reading most of Core's stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I've been reading Service with a Smile, and I'm going to talk about that in a second as well, because poor Core,
pretty
man.
fun. So some of the reviewers have been accusing him of bashing of late.
He did. He made that post as well in
Well, it's been getting to him a little bit.
I noticed
that he felt the need to say it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Anyway, while you search for that, so.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the author's note.
Yeah.
Because we make mention of there's a hospital bomb this chapter.
Right.
And the note starts with, "My gods, Core reveals more of his bashing, this time on a hospital and a wounded police officer. Does his bashing know no ends?" It's like he's at that point where his fan base is now big enough, he's just taking the piss in the wind.
Yep. So this is his next chapter's author's note response. Yes, everyone, my comment last chapter about OCs was sarcastic. I know most of you understood that, but some of you genuinely didn't seem to, which is a bit scary. But hey, I gave you an OC here. She appeared, she's shy, and she failed her first quest and was thrown out in the hero cast in disgrace. In a very real sense, she's an example of what should have happened to John. Or, if you like, what does happen to a lot of applicants. Because I know there's some lore lovers out there. What?
No, just the salt thrown with that one.
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, yeah, no, you can feel...
And then there's Service with a Smile in his latest... I feel so bad for him in his latest chapter. Basically, Service with a Smile,
John opens a coffee shop.
John opens a coffee shop, but in his latest chapters, he's basically just fucking done with people. Honestly, I don't hate any of the Ruby characters. People are accusing me of bashing Sun, but I'm not bashing him. He just doesn't fucking appear in, the early seasons.
No, he really... He doesn't.
And at one point, people are saying I despise Blake. I mean, just like, really?
That's the one they got to do. It's like, did they not read his first 4 stories?
Have you seen how many stories she's in?
Yeah.
People are accusing him of bashing characters because they're not getting enough screen time. People are accusing him of bashing Skylark because he didn't appear in this fanfiction.
You mean one of the least relevant and important characters?
And Core literally says that. People are saying I'm bashing... Like, Core literally says that in the previous chapter of, people are accusing me of bashing Skylark. I mean, like, really, guys? He's a minor character who appears, like, twice in the entire story.
Like, at best, he's basically cannon fodder. The fact that all of Team Cardinal wasn't cannon fodder is surprising to me. Like, Cardin is now actually showing up in Ruby Chibi in Season 3, which is weird.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, he's now showing up, and he's trying to become, like, an underling for Cinder.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Watch as that actually happens in the show,
Who
and everyone just goes deepest lore.
Okay, so Core is, if you listen to Core's fan base, Core is a mass basher harem writer of the Ruby fanfiction section. If you
Please
listen
stop
to
spreading demonstrably false statements.
if you listen to sane people, Core is a proficient professional writer who enjoys writing Ruby stories that typically ends up pairing John with Blake, even if he has plans otherwise. And he's like I said, he's a professional. He's like a head of editing or something like that at a fucking magazine company. You know, like he's a professional when it comes to writing.
Is this a quote end quotes professional, or is this like an actual? I'm going to assume it's the quotes.
No, like the dude makes like a significant amount of money.
Last I think he's an editor.
Yeah, he's like a head editor. He's in charge of hiring and firing people. So he's up there in the ranks.
Author who writes stories that go pretty much nowhere.
If you listen to people with little time, he's an author with stories that go nowhere, but he does good grammars. Honestly, I think the criticism that his stories go nowhere is a bit misplaced, as I've read books that go more nowhere than Core stories.
You're right there. You need to sneeze again.
Some of the early Drizzt books were just insufferably boring.
There we go.
But yeah, no, Core he's a ship-shaped Ruby writer, and he releases 5 chapters a week. 6 chapters a week? Something like that.
It's 5, yeah.
He releases 5 chapters a week, and he does that every single week. And each of those chapters end up being around an average of like 6,000 to 8,000 words. So he, like, at the lowest estimates, he releases around 30k words a week. Releases around 120k words a month. He basically writes a fucking book a month. Like, he is so precise with his update schedule that when he didn't update, he updated an hour late one time, people were asking if he was okay.
Did you die?
Oh yeah, that was mentioned in an author's note too, where he's like, I'm kind of annoyed that I've been so consistent with these now.
Yeah, but
Because
Ryuki
apparently
needs to die in a fire.
What?
Ryuki. I greatly dislike his stories.
Look, that's not important. We're not talking about whoever that is right now.
Uploads with such regularity that people mistake him for dead if he doesn't post. Meanwhile, with Shaggy...
Hey, Shaggy, you dead yet?
No, I'm just not really up to the writing. Alright, dude, just work on it.
Not here. Don't mind me.
Fuck you, Shaggy, give us more.
And
then he just goes
what
over.
story? Oh, right. All Guardsmen Party.
Yeah. Although, like, I can understand some of the people saying that he bashes characters, like the Sun thing. White Sheep and I think one other did it, where they constantly refer to Sun as a stalker.
But
And that's it.
Like, to be fair, he does bring up a good point. Season 3 Sun was very much stalkery.
Even season 4 Sun was a stalker.
Yeah, I am well aware of that. But like that's probably where the bashing comes from, because Sun is one of the more like characters.
Well, no, like he straight up says it right here. Like, if I show Blake being stubborn, people accuse me of bashing her.
If I show Blake being what she is, yes.
Yeah. There's all these awesome authors who never update. I can't tell if you're referring to Max and I. No.
They said awesome authors.
I do understand. I do know what you mean. There's quite a few stories out there that I'm like, oh my god, this is a fantastic story. I've never seen anyone do it like this before. This is an amazing execution.
And dead.
Updates once a year, and it's dead.
It's gone.
Like, look at Masked Up. Like, well, it's much more prevalent with Masked Up too. But it's like, dude, please just update. I dig this.
Shit. There's quite a few stories out there that I'm just like, why doesn't this update? Yeah.
So it's okay, Kilm. We know you. We know. Our story's mediocre at best.
I'm working on it. I mean, if everything gets settled back down, I'm actually gonna try and get the next chapter out by this weekend. No, we didn't get 2 chapters out. Atin and Max got 2 chapters out because they're basically writing what amounts to a shitpost story of Ruby with themselves in it, and they're really not paying too much attention to the greater implications.
I think Isley just got killed.
Oh no! We pay plenty of attention to the bigger implications, which is that we are useless.
Yeah, no, like we just wrote up a chapter Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
We just have a moment where it's like, all right, we did nothing to change season 1, but that's partly because there's not much to change. Now it's like, all right, season 2, when shit actually starts happening, how do we fuck up the timeline?
So far, the current answer is explosives and large quantities of them.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us today. I hope you all had at least a semi-passable decent time. Sorry the fics weren't as amusing as they normally are, but I mean, you get what you get when you spin the gotcha wheel.
Don't you bring up that wheel.
Sometimes you just get 1-star fics internally. Over and over again.
Forever.
Anyway.
Come to think of it, we've spun the wheel enough times, we're due for at least a 4-star.
See us next time on Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9001 Friday edition. Keep an eye out on the Discord, folks. I've been talking to a couple authors, been looking into doing some interviews, gonna see if Cora will respond back to me. That would be actually fairly interesting, sit down and talk to him.
Yeah, let me know if that actually goes through. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be there for that. I will cancel any plans that pop up on whatever day.
So far, right now, we have Lupine Horror confirmed, which, to anyone not aware, Lupine Horror has written multiple stories for the Harry Potter crossover section.
That'll be one I'm probably not going to be in.
His largest story right now is the multi-million word series Fate's Gamble, in which Harry Potter crosses over into Fate, the Nasuverse, in which he gets adopted by the Gorgon sisters.
Oh, you recommended that one to me before.
I have.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go tab that up
a link for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably read it during dinner.
I'll link Lupine
I'm gonna go
Horror.
tab that up.
But yeah, no, that there is a vague plan of at some point in the near future, Lupine will be able to take a break from his job either on Tuesday or Saturday, and sit down with us and give us a behind the curtains interview.
Oh no, we're not worth taking time off for.
No, he'll be just not going out to the bar that night.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's not actually taking time off. He's just not going to drink his brains out that night.
Okay. That's fine then.
But yeah, no, I'm looking at a couple other authors. I don't want to say any names yet because I don't want to be that person who's like, oh, we're talking to blank, and then they
we will get Donald Trump to read fan fiction on this podcast.
Donate now! At 100 subscribers, I will personally get Donald Trump to fucking read fan fiction.
This is
that was said with sarcasm.
For anyone who's too stupid.
Yeah, that's not serious. I don't care how Queen of Ricky
No, donate now. That was the serious part. Everything past that.
Yeah, no, like I don't care how clean a rip you get. That was not at all a serious promise.
Anyway, I think that about covers our wrap up. Thank you all for joining us in this most excellent of days. See you later, my dudes, and always remember, there's always more and it always gets worse.